Alright, Schlockmeister fans, by request from the Tomb of Terrors box set, we're going to watch something called The Traveler indie film. Let's check it out.
I forgot you had that gallery show today.
The movie starts with a couple kind of having an argument on the phone.
Find you. Thought maybe I didn't have a wife anymore.
Honey, it was just a fight. Not something I'm greedy of.
I know, it's just that... I just want to say I'm sorry about last night. We don't have to adopt. I never even would have pressed the issue if I'd known that was the real reason you couldn't have children.
That man you saw was Alan. He was talking to his wife, Susan.
Jesus, this is way out of our way.
And they are traveling.
Well, just be patient. We'll probably be there any minute.
And they had to take a detour, so they're kind of lost. They're trying to get back to the highway. This ain't going to help them. Pretty soon night falls, and as they find a house, their car suddenly stalls and dies.
Hey, look. Maybe... Whoa. Whoa. What the hell?
What?
So they go inside the house, and they find a little party going on there.
Hey. How's it going? My name's Alan. This is my wife, Susan. Our car broke down outside.
Apparently the house has history.
He kidnapped women from a couple women from the city, and he brought them here, tortured them, dismembered their bodies, and buried them in a crawl space in the basement of this house.
They explore the house a bit and check out the basement.
I'm going upstairs.
It's a creepy place. And they get a visitor.
Hello.
Who are you?
Oh, forgive me. I'm the owner of this house.
Okay, I didn't think anyone owned this house.
Well, you are wrong.
He's gonna make them play a game.
What are you talking about? What game? I've got a clever little idea. I'm going to torture you all to death. There will be one survivor.
That's to show that he's not fucking around. They all have to vote on who's going to be the next one killed. It's kind of like Survivor. And when he said he was going to torture these people, he wasn't kidding.
By now, he should be in shock, shouldn't he? But
New York, why?
Little origin here. A little.
then that is where I was born. I've been with you your whole life, Mr. Chesterton. I'm a part of you, and you are a part of me. Isn't that nice?
So yeah, he forces them to vote. Those two obviously are married couples, so they're not going to vote for each other. He calls himself E.F. Ulrich, otherwise known as the Traveler. And he's got a big bag of tools.
One vote for Mr. Wallace, another vote for Mr. Wallace, another vote for Mr. Wallace, and another vote for Mr. Wallace. Oh dear, seems you're not a very popular person, are you?
Mr. Wallace is about to lose all of his fingers on both hands. He actually takes it surprisingly well. Let's see how he reacts to the blowtorch. Then he cuts a big flap under the skin, or under the chin, and staples it. Well, they've all had enough of this and are trying to find a plan, a way to get out of there.
Tell you what, you take the axe.
Okay.
Stand right next to the door. When he comes in, give him one good hit to startle him. Then get out of the way as fast as you can.
And the plan is in motion. Well, they chop the guy up, but then, like the Terminator
Hey, look at this.
liquid metal machine, he starts to reform himself. And he's not too happy. He quickly takes control again, and then Linda's next on the chopping block. And now he's gonna hook her up. Literally. And then to finish her off, cut her belly open. He's a swell guy.
I'll
Offer.
let you go. Right now. Free as a bird. But just you. I keep the others. Interested?
He turns it down, but his wife says they should vote for each other.
Well, it comes down to it. You know, the final decision. One of us is gonna die anyway.
This is all I could find, but it ought to do the trick.
Dan, listen.
Well, there's 3 people left, and Dan's decided that he's not going to be the last one,
This will be a lot less painful than what a traveler can do to you.
Come on, think about it.
or the
Suppose
next
you
one, I
do
should
kill
say.
us. What do you think the Traveler's gonna do? Something tells me that's against the rules of the game.
I'll take my chances.
No! No! No!
Alan recovers from the hammer to the head,
Alan, stop!
kills Dan, breaks his neck.
Jesus, I broke his neck. I killed him.
We get a brief flashback to find out why Susan can't have a baby. The Traveler is making her relive a recent experience where she got assaulted.
Gouge out her eyes.
He's going to make her relive that assault over and over forever, unless Alan gouges out her eyes.
I said, gouge out her eye.
So to spare her eternal torture forever, Alan does what he's told. Then he's ordered to slice her leg. Brutal. And then the other leg. And finally, he's ordered to decapitate her.
No.
He won.
Get yourself and go.
That was never a condition of the game. I merely promised that you'd be spared torture and physical death. I said nothing of release.
Travelers told him that he's going to live in eternity in this house.
Susan, would you still love me if I wasn't successful?
With nothing but time on his hands, Alan figures out that E.F. Ulrich is in fact Lucifer. Get it?
Alone, cold and in pain.
300 years later, he confronts
Won't you
Alan.
join your wife as her servant? As my servant.
Apparently, Susan is now his servant.
Does this interest you?
I love you, Alan. Come back to me. Be one with me.
Ultimately, Alan doesn't really make a decision. But if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. And that's our movie. All right, let's talk about The Traveler. I never heard of this one before. Comes on this Tomb of Terrors 50 movie box. It's come on a couple other DVD compilations as well. Boy, this is quite a film. It's obviously an indie horror film. Came out in 2004 or 2006, can't remember. But Boy, so we got this couple that's traveling, and their car stalls in the middle of nowhere. They go inside this house that they find. There's like a party going on with 5 or 6, 7 other people there just hanging out. It turns out they're kind of trespassing too. Suddenly, like an hour later, this guy shows up, a British guy, and he says, I'm the owner of this house. And then he says, you're all going to be part of this game. I'm going to torture you all to death, except one of you. You're all going to vote for the next person to be tortured. You're all going to witness the torture and everything else. And then there'll be one survivor left at the end. Of course, they think he's nuts, but he has superpowers, this guy. He can just wave his hand and push them all up against the wall, and then he tortures people one at a time. He forces them to vote, and he tortures them all. And some of the torture is fucking brutal in this movie. The one scene, obviously, he puts a hook through this one girl's mouth and then out of her eye, rips the arms off this other dude, breaks it first. He burns people. He's just a nasty motherfucker. But the one thing at the end, when there's left with a married couple at the end, he forces the guy to gouge out the woman's eyes, and then he took this like saw, this grater thing that he's got to rub up and down her legs, ripping off her flesh down to the bone. It was really, really gory and brutal. That was some nasty business. Ultimately, we do get one survivor, the guy at the end who killed his wife, ultimately chopped her head off too, sawed her head off. And then he says, I know you won, but I never said anything about releasing you, so here's the deal. You're going to sit in this house forever and just be here. Your bodily functions will cease to operate. You don't need nourishment. You're just going to sit here forever. So anyway, apparently 300 years pass, and then the traveler shows up again and says, wow, you're really holding up well, better than I thought. You still have some of your faculties. Tell you what, I'm going to have an offer for you. You can come join your wife, who apparently has been living in hell as this guy's servant. Apparently this guy is Lucifer, the devil, so apparently his wife went to hell. Don't know why, but she's down there, and then her wife comes back and says, Alan, join me. And then he refuses, and then that's how our movie ends. So there you go. That's The Traveler. Again, did I enjoy this film? Yeah, I think I did, actually. It ran a little too long. I think the last 50 minutes didn't need to happen. It could have been just done with him winning and then just being sentenced to live there for eternity. That would have been fine. And I was also a little slow getting started. But once it got going, there were some pretty nasty gore scenes in this. So if you're looking for gore, you're going to find it here for sure. And it's brutal torture is what's going on here. Now, no nude scenes, but there is plenty of gore. I don't know who made this movie. I looked at a couple of the actors and actresses. A lot of them did nothing else or very little else. I think they all were friends with the director who lives in Pennsylvania somewhere. And that's just, they got together and made a movie. There you go, The Traveler. So anyway, I'll leave a link down below if you're looking for this. Let me know if you've seen this movie. I bet you a lot of people haven't, but I have. So anyway, thanks to Marty for providing this, and let me know what you think about it. It's The Traveler. Watch it. Bye.